And that is the end of the Denver Nuggets season, sent home in 7 games by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Do I think that this was expected? I did pick the Thunder to win the series. I thought that they had the edge. I thought that defensively they were just so much better. I thought it gave them the best chance, the best pathway to victory. Even if the Thunder didn't have the best offensive series, I figured their defense could keep them in games and they could end up, winning the series. But the way it ended is kind of stinks. So the Aaron Gordon injury kind of surprising us, I think, waking up this morning and seeing the reports of him having a grade 2 hamstring strain. I mean, God bless him, man. Dude is tough. He ended up playing and logging 25 minutes in an elimination game, game 7, right? Win or go home. And I can respect that and all that, but he just wasn't able to really help all that much. He had 4 turnovers, did have 11 rebounds, 4 of them offensive. He was helping the team, but was he, though? What they needed from him was scoring. He wasn't explosive. You could see he was limited. I saw him hanging around in the corner quite a bit offensively, trying to do his part defensively. But then you look at the rest of the roster and the way that things kind of played out. It's like, where was the help coming from? Michael Porter Jr., who, from what I understand, actually has an existing injury as well, gave you 6 points in 23 minutes. He was 3 of 8 shooting, 0 for 4 from 3. So he couldn't really help you. Joker was 9-11 from the free throw line, 1 of 2 from 3, 5 of 9 from the field in 37 minutes of action. He wasn't really that impactful. Like, not in typical Joker fashion. 20 points. He had 5 turnovers. I wouldn't call that a good game. I'd say for his standards, it was very, very mid. Jamal Murray, 1 of 8 from 3. 6 of 16 shooting from the field. It's just not going to get it done. You needed more. Christian Brown, I think, played a pretty good game for his standards, but I mean, there was just nothing going on. And the Thunder, it's just their time, right? It's their time to get to the Western Conference Finals, and I would say that they're pretty healthy. I can't say the same thing about the Nuggets. Whether it's Porter Jr. or it's Gordon, I can't say that Joker had a great series, not at all. You're gonna have a lot of discussions about who's getting the MVP and did Joker really deserve it and all those kind of things. Obviously, it's a regular season award, but I would say that SGA had a better series than Joker by a considerable margin. I think he was much better. Shea gave you 35. I felt like most games in the series, he was giving you 30 plus. 8 of 9 from the free throw line, 3 of 4 from 3. He had 4 assists. He had 3 steals and a block. He was excellent. J-Dub showed up. He gave you 24. 10 of 17 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3. He had 7 assists. He had 5 rebounds. He was very good. And off the bench, Alex Caruso, right? Steady Alex Caruso coming in, making the defensive impact. He had 3 steals. He had that hellacious defense throughout the series, and then moments where he was scoring points for these guys. The Nuggets, in order for the Nuggets to win this game, they were going to have to be healthy. Like, this game was tied, or this series is tied 3-3 with all their players being available. So having a limited Michael Porter Jr. throughout the series and then Aaron Gordon in Game 7, I didn't see them having a chance, and it kind of played out that way. And I think they kind of knew they were playing with house money, and they figured their luck had run out and all those kind of things, But Thunder move on. Bottom line, Thunder move on. It's going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder, and it's going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'd like to solicit your opinions on this. You guys want to give me your thoughts and opinions on what you think is going to happen in that series. Maybe I'll make a separate video on it, but I do really like the Thunder in that matchup. I think they match the Minnesota Timberwolves intensity. I think, as good as Julius Randle has been, I think he's been one of the best stories in the NBA playoffs thus far. I'd say either him, and the Wolves, or I guess you could say like the Knicks, maybe the Pacers, are the best story. But if I'm picking between these two teams, I'm gonna lean Thunder. I think this was a great series for them to kind of build off of, and hang their head on their defense and the rebounding, right? And they've taken a step, right? Now they're in the Western Conference Finals. They know that the work is not done. and the season isn't over, but they want a better outcome than just, showing up to the Western Conference Finals. And I think the Timberwolves have a lot to prove too, so it's going to be a hell of a series. I'm going to go, just as a quick prediction, I'm going to go with the Thunder. I'll talk more about that matchup later and why I think I'm picking the Thunder and how many games and all that stuff. But yeah, season's over for the Nuggets. Kind of a crappy way to end. But maybe they were playing with house money, right? Firing their coach and their GM kind of in the last week of the season. And maybe it was just too much to overcome. Let me know what you guys think. Sound off in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Check out some more videos. We'll see you guys on the next one.